Hello and welcome to a new video. Today is December 21st, winter solstice 2025, the shortest day of the year. And this video is to give a quick update on how the bees have been doing in the past couple of months since I harvested some honey mid-October. We've had a strong start to the winter here in Nova Scotia. We had everything from below minus 10 degrees Celsius and a lot of snow to a couple days ago 14 degrees Celsius and the bees coming out and flying around. The hive you see in the background here is a 25 frame Layens horizontal hive that has 13 frames of honey reserves in it at the moment for a colony of bees that are overwintering in the hive. This is my first winter as a beekeeper with one colony, and so far the hive has been performing well. The bees have been able to withstand the very cold temperatures of minus 10 with the wind chill closer to minus 20 is what we had here in Nova Scotia. And I noticed over the past month there were a couple of days where the temperatures just for like a few hours or half a day went above 10 degrees Celsius. And I noticed the bees came out and basically cleaned up. They did some housekeeping, which means they removed some dead bees onto the landing board. I captured that a couple of days ago, so I'm going to include that footage here shortly. It's very interesting to see how the bees work very hard to remove the dead bodies of the bees from the hive to maintain the hygiene and to keep the hive environment clean. So it's great to see that. The hive is doing well. When the temperatures are very cold and they obviously don't come out anymore, when I put my ear against the side of the hive box, I can hear the bees buzzing. They're forming a cluster in the center of the hive, and that's how they basically overwinter. So far so good, but the real winter is yet to start here in Nova Scotia. So we have at least another 3.5, maybe 4 months of proper winter ahead of us. And we'll see how the bees do by the end of all of that. But so far so good. I'm very happy with the hive itself. I want to talk about a couple of things in terms of winter preparation for the Layens hive. What I did is I added a couple of pillows of hemp insulation onto the top of the frames, between the roof part and the top of the frames, and onto the side of the frame. So you have to imagine that this 25 frame hive is filled with 13 frames right now, which are the honey reserves for the bees for this winter. And there's a division board at the end of that 13th frame, and there's then a hollow space to the side of that. So I put one pillow on top of the frames and another pillow sort of just to the side of the division board, with a bit of an opening so that the bees do have access to the cavity area of the hive. And that is to basically help the hive be insulated somewhat. And I used the hemp insulation because it's mite resistant and helps to also absorb excess moisture. And speaking of moisture, what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading is that in the winter, the most challenging part in any beehive isn't necessarily the cold for the bees, but it is the regulation of moisture and excess moisture. You can see that of the two entrances to the hive, one entrance is completely closed off for the winter, and the other entrance, which has been their main entrance that they've been using throughout the honey season, the honey flow season, it's about 4 inches wide. And I reduced the entrance to about 1.5 inches, something like that. And that is to basically just have the entrance big enough for air to come into the hive, but not too big so that there is no draft. There are 4 small round holes below the roof part on either side of the hive, which is to, in the summer, let excess heat exit the hive. And I closed all 4 holes on the side of the hive where there are no frames, and on the side where the frames are, I closed 3 of the 4 holes. I left 1 hole open for heat to escape, or basically for air to escape the hive, which is, the idea is to help the moisture regulation for that. So you have air coming into the entrance of the hive in the bottom, and then air being able to leave at the top, but not too many openings so that not too much heat escapes the hive, because it's like basically a balance between retaining some of the heat but allowing some air to exit so that moisture doesn't build up. I'll see how all of that looks like when the winter is finished in a few months, and I can then make a final assessment. But I have to say, so far, I'm very happy with how the Layens hive is performing, and the bees, from the footage I took a couple days ago, they look very healthy. I'm very much looking forward to 2026. There are lots of things to do here for the bees for next year, which includes the strategic planting of certain flowers that are good for pollinators, and also to expand the apiary and add 1, maybe 2 more colonies to this apiary. I currently have 4 Layens hives. 1 of them is occupied with the 1 colony and the other 3 are vacant. So the idea is to gradually build up to fill all 4 hives. And I'm also building an experimental hive that I will share once it's completed. I'm calling it the Fortress Hive, and the idea is to mimic the condition of a real tree cavity in terms of the thickness of the log. But I'll share details on that when that's finished, sometime this winter before the springtime. I installed the very first colony of bees only just over 6 months ago in June, and it's been a great learning curve, very interesting, and a great adventure, to be honest, to have the bees here and learn from them and observe them. So I'm very excited to see what comes next for 2026 and how this apiary evolves. I'll share more videos as I document my journey here of being a beekeeper using Layens horizontal beehives. And with that, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season, and a Happy New Year. And thank you for watching, and see you again in the next video. Take care.